But I started to invest in low-cost index funds. These are basically big baskets of stocks, but you only pay a very, very commission.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
So tell us in your journey, what was the biggest challenge, how you overcome it? What advice do you have for entrepreneurs that they are stuck in the scaling up process and they still as a solo entrepreneur because they are scared?
Yeah. So for me, the challenge was that I was delivering my service or my courses in person. So I went to different countries. I had my preview seminars, then I had my weekend seminars, and it was very tiring, and it was a lot of work, because you needed to go to every country.
Tell me about it. Welcome to my life.
It's a lot of work.
Doing speaking all over the world. Oh my God!
Speaking and so on.
I love it. It's a lot of fun,
me too.
Yeah.
I loved it, but when you age, you just cannot do as many things as when you were young.
And the thing becomes very intense, so many times. I'm in Singapore, they say you need to be in Mexico tomorrow, and then I'm stepping over in London. I cannot sleep in my own bed. I'm thinking this is ridiculous.
And then you have a family. I have 2 kids, a wife. Yeah, it's it was tough. So at that time, then I decided to make a change and to start delivering everything online via online courses and via webinars, via online masterclasses and so on. So now it's much because I am not. I need to be at
it's more scalable.
Separately. I didn't need to travel all the time, so it's more scalable, and it gives me much time to my services, to improve my to customers better support and so on. So in the end, this is better than it was before, and I have more free time.
And you look at business different, Rob, because I remember, my property business. I'm thinking when out of this expansion process, at the beginning, I'm thinking, okay, I'm expanding. And before you have the problem of 7 houses, and I'm thinking, okay, if you expand to 14 houses, what could happen? The problem is going to double. Well, the problem didn't double. These 7 houses are a problem. The other 7 houses had all the problems. And the problem that these 2 elements combined create, that I was not aware it, when you have 7 houses, you have a building and maintenance. So you have 14, you need the van with 2 buildings 24/7 because something breaks every day. And then your accounts become bigger. So now you need to pay more for accounts. And you start to need more things that when you were operating in the small scale, you didn't need to. So, however, if you develop leadership in your organization, it went to the point, Robert, that I one day arrived to the office and my manager, Eva, told me, Harry, go home. We don't need you. We can run this company without you. And it was an amazing feeling. I'm thinking, how put this off on the first place? Yeah. This has happened because I was stuck for a while, Robert, thinking this business, the more I expand, the more employees I have, the more tenants want to speak with me. I'm thinking, what's the point to expand this? Again, what I told you, if you have a small mess, you expand a big mess. And because I made the business all about me, when this thing keep growing, I'm thinking, I to some improvement here, because otherwise I won't be able to even sleep, because my client, they don't care. They to speak at 3 a.m. because, it was a property business, they're renting a room. So if they're going to bring a friend, they don't care. They will, if they tell them, Harry will talk to you 4 a.m., they will wait until 4 a.m. to talk to me. Harry, can you let me bring the friend to a room? Blah, blah. So I knew there was someone called Harry. I was the only person that can allow that. So I have 24/7, all my tenants dying to speak with me. And I'm thinking, these clients are going to kill me. When am I going to sleep? When am I going to eat? So scaling building processes and systems and
And you need to be able
sounds
to
funny,
delegate.
but
And
when you are
you be able to trust other people.
Mhm.
Because entrepreneurs, we are sometimes like these control
Yes,
freaks.
yes.
And we don't let others do things that they are good
Mm.
at. So yeah, you
Yeah.
need to learn how
Robert,
to
look, is
delegate,
the ego.
trust
Look,
other employees.
let's start for this. Yeah. All I interview 500 millionaires in this podcast, right? These are the fundamental of the basis. All of us, we have a big ego. We can, otherwise we won't be entrepreneur. We think that we can do better,
Yeah.
right? So let's start from that. We think that we can do better. Yeah. So now this is good for you to start it. However, that ego, when scaling up,
Gets in a way later.
you need to de-scale the ego. You
Yeah.
need to become more. That's what happened to me, right? The more than I scaling, the more I'm thinking. You know what? It's actually the other way around. I had to develop leads into organization, and it's actually about me anymore. No big deal anyway. It's all about them. How about if they become the big deal right than me? What can I do to make that happen? And then you start to learn about leadership and things like this. But I have, Robert, a question that I'm so looking forward to ask you, because we have a big debate in this podcast, and you are someone that tick all the boxes. Yeah. We have been a big discussion here with the entrepreneur, because a good entrepreneur not necessarily has to be a good investor.
Yeah.
In fact, they're completely different things, and we have a
Yeah.
lot of entrepreneurs that they work really hard for years, and then something happened. COVID happened. A dramatic change in technology happened. Then they go out of business. They go to zero straight away, because in the last 3 6 months, they taking all the money, all the mortgage, everything, all the money they make to pour that into that business that is
Yeah.
it's just get outdated. A new technology came around. The market situation changed. COVID or whatever happened, and then those entrepreneurs that have worked so hard for 5 10 years, build that, they'll go to zero in the bank account, and it's not fair. So
Yeah.
we want all the entrepreneurs to be healthy, wealthy, and happy. So in that process,
Yeah.
entrepreneurs not only need to make how to make money, okay,
Mm.
they are
Yeah.
very good on that, but keeping in the money, this second part, they need to start to learn to become a good investor. Otherwise, they won't be able to keep the money. And this is the truth. So I have a theory that I discussing with all the investors that come to this podcast. They actually they are a lot. What if, Robert, I am an entrepreneur. I start in a business, okay, and I start to make some money. And after I make this money, I take this money and I invest, let's suppose, in a house, in a property, or in a stock that pay me dividends, in some kind of vehicle that can give me monthly income. Then this monthly income, I can use it for marketing. Then I can grow my company. Then maybe buy a little bit more assets, get more cash flow, use this money for marketing and sales. Guess what happened? Something wrong happened. COVID comes, something comes, whatever happens. In the meantime, you're learning how to become a good investor. Okay.
Yeah.
And wherever something happens, you are more secure because you have asset to producing money. Sad story that we hear is that entrepreneurs exit for so many millions. They have so much money, and because they don't know how to invest, a friend come, listen, you're not gonna believe, you have this huge return. This property is gonna kill it. Give me a few millions, and they go to zero.
Yeah.
And we don't want any entrepreneur listening this podcast or any entrepreneur in the world to go um, to that space. So I'm so glad that you're teaching people how to invest. And you tell me, right, what are the fundamentals, and break it down for the entrepreneurs that, or what is your opinion in my statement that a good entrepreneur not necessarily is a good investor. However, in my opinion, a good investor always is a good entrepreneur. You see people that come to tech businesses looking for funding, talking with investors, and they're looking at the investor, they think investors are stupid. The problem with the investor, because they built the company before you and exited before you, and they know
Yeah.
10x what you know. And they're pitching, no, if you give me this money, I'm gonna build this. And the investor looking at that, said, these people think we're stupid. So tell us, Robert, when do you realize it yourself that in order to keep your money, you have to become a good investor?
Yeah. My first lesson, or maybe my first learning point, was that when I started to make quite a lot of money in my business, at first I was totally financially illiterate. I didn't have a clue about personal finance and investing. So
Me
I
too,
trusted,
by the way.
yeah.
Me too.
So I
We all
trusted
been there.
financial advisors and
Welcome to my
bankers
life.
and gurus, you know.
How are we gonna know?
And yeah, we didn't learn
sign
about
up for
it, you know?
this. We know to have a product to sell it to make the money like
Yeah,
this. We don't have, it's totally different thing, right?
yeah. So at that time, I said, okay, I will trust my financial advisors and bankers and gurus and so on. And after years and years and years of doing that and giving them all my business profits, or a part of my business profits, my wife had a conversation, and she said, Robert, I know that you trust these guys, you know, but maybe just check what is the status of all these investments now. And I ordered all these account statements. And when the envelopes arrived, it was like, what? Are there some zeros missing? Money
Wow.
that I worked hard to earn was mostly gone. And that was, the start of the darkest period of my life. I lost my motivation to work. I was devastated. And at that moment, I was lucky that I realized that I need to take control of my money and my investments. You cannot trust financial advisors, bankers with your money, because my interest or our interests and their interests are not aligned. They care about making a commission of your money, and we would like to get great returns. So this doesn't fit. And when I realized that, I started to learn all there is about investing, personal finance, and I realized that the financial industry is not on our side when it comes to investing our money. And after years and years and years of learning and talking with financial industry insiders and getting to know all this information, behind the scenes of the financial industry and so on, I finally started to make my own investments into low cost. I only invested in very, very low commission products. I was not into, for example, mutual funds or other products like this that have huge commissions. But I started to invest in low cost index funds. These are basically big baskets of stocks, but you only pay a very, very commission when you do that. And when I started to invest on my own, all of a sudden, the investment returns that I was starting to make were really amazing. And
wow.
I was able to get my investments back on track, and that was the beginning of my journey in financial education.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.